So we're now ready for first fixing. Electrics, we've got all the ceilings stripped, de-nailed, we've got all the new ceilings supported and run up there. What we do with the electrics, run the cables and tack them to the ceiling rafters. So we use little clips to run them through, or if need be, you obviously just core a small hole with a spade bit and take them through. As you can see, we leave a coil up there. So the reason for that is we can then push it up, put the plasterboard up and then skim straight over without cables coming through. And then we've got a map that shows exactly the measurements of all these points off the walls, so we can just core the hole, pull the cables through and then fit a downlighter to the freshly plastered ceiling. So electrics, the first thing to think of is where your board is. And in this house, we're working out the back. Unfortunately, the board's right at the front. So in order to make it easier, we're actually going to run a small subboard into the utility room, which we formed. The main reason for this is currently this whole house is run off pretty much the same circuit, which it's easy to overload it with hairdryers or anything. So we're going to have a small subboard in the utility with a cable back to the main board. And that enables us to run thicker cables for ovens, any other thing that takes more power. So we've got a subboard going in there, then we run all the cables for LED downlighters, under cupboard lights, over cupboard lights, any sockets that go in the walls or in the island. So once we've run all the ceiling cables for the LEDs, we then got to start looking at the sockets again, the cables going all the way back to the new subboard. So we work out where they're going placement wise and then bring the cables up out the ground, because obviously you've got a lot less chasing to do from the floor to your socket rather than coming all the way down the wall, where you can have a lot bigger chase and making good. So again, once the cables are in, back box is fixed, that cable's then run back to the new subboard, which can then be connected later. With your back boxes on sockets, it really depends how you're going to finish the wall. There's two ways of we call float and set, which is hard wall to bring out any unevenness to give you a flat surface, and then your finish gives you the nice polished surface to paint on. Or you can dot and dab, which is sheet of plasterboard with drywall adhesive you knock up, and then that creates your level. But with that, you need a thicker back box, or you can mount it straight onto the wall and then cut your plasterboard around it. But if you're floating and setting, which gives a more solid wall, you've often got to chase your back box into the wall and then fix it with anything from drywall adhesive, and then you screw it as well. So you've got a solid fixing once you've plastered to put your faceplate on. So all the cables we run in here are completely brand new, so because of that, not connected to anything, so you haven't got to worry about any live cables. So literally we just leave enough of a coil on the end to connect to the new board, so all the work with the cables is completely safe because it's not connected. We usually do that on all extensions and new rooms. There's no problems with existing cables being pinched or decaying, plus everything's brand new, so you know exactly that it's going in as it should do and there won't be any problems. Mainly 4 different size of back box, as we can see here. These thinner ones are more found in older houses, to be honest. We don't really use them much now. 25mm box, you can get a dimmer in here. These are often set on the wall like that, but if you need more, if you've got a fuse spur or more cabling going in, you need a thicker box, but this is going to then need to be chased into the wall. Otherwise, as you can see, you're going to be having a lot of hard wall and finish to bring the wall out flush with the front of it. And these can be used for switches, fuse spurs, oven switches, etc., all depending on what you're putting in there, the different thickness you can use. So in this particular extension, we're going to use one of the thinner back boxes, and the reason for this, we have to chase less into the block work. So because we're floating and setting, which is hard wall and then finish, you obviously don't want to leave too much proud, or you're going to put more hard wall on to bring your levels out. So we're probably going to chase within 5-6mm, and then we can run hard wall and finish around that to create a completely level wall with your switches.